Hey everyone, we're Chris and Sandy Benton with the Chris and Sandy Show, where we get up close and personal with some amazing guests throughout the entertainment industry. And today, like I say on every episode, we got a great one for you. Who do we have?
Today we have Kendra Erika, a 5-time Billboard Top 10 artist with an incredible voice spanning pop, dance, and now cinematic jazz. Her new single, Golden Eye, kicks off a bold James Bond-inspired era, leading to her upcoming album, License to Thrill.
And we're excited to have her on the show. Welcome.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. And it's so great to be back on your show because as I can clearly recall, I was on your show a few years ago. So
Yes.
and I love coming back here. You guys are so friendly and warm.
Well, we appreciate
that. Thank you. So what inspired your bold shift to cinematic jazz, and what can fans expect from your upcoming album, License to Thrill?
Well, the album is a cinematic, and it's a musical journey of all the decades of Bond. So from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and today. And I picked out my favorites from those particular eras. That's not to say that I don't enjoy the other, like, how many Bond songs, but you know, I may or may not come out with a volume 2, so whatever, we'll talk about that. But but it's a nice cinematic journey, and also this will become a show. I've been promoting it in Vegas so much, like for the past 7 months, I've been back and forth from LA to Vegas promoting it. And the showcase, the official showcase debut will be February 15th at the Space in Las Vegas. And the reason why I wanted to go in this direction is because from doing dance and upbeat music for so long in my 20s, I felt like I cultivated so much strength and so much muscle in the writing and recording game, and also in the performance game as well. So I wanted to go back to my roots, but then still use what I learned doing all the dance music and apply it into making my roots, my core capabilities stronger. So, and then with this new direction, I've always been, fascinated by James Bond, by the Bond films. I think that they're so classic, and they're like an indelible mark in the cinematic world of old Hollywood, new Hollywood, and just Hollywood in general, and just the filmmaking sphere as it is. Yeah. So, and my dad showed me my first Bond movie when I was 7. So there you go, 007. And from then on, I was like a little girl, and I was like in love with Sean Connery, and I was like, too old for me. But that's it, and it's just been a great, it's been a great, not departure, but just like it's been a build upon avenue. So
if somebody would have told you, say 5 years ago, that this era of you would come out, what would you have thought and said to that person?
I would have said, that's pretty cool. I'm still gonna shake my booty on the dance floor. But I'll get back to you on that. Yeah.
So what do you want the song Golden Eye to actually say to people?
Well, the song, we stripped it down because it was originally written by Bono and The Edge, and originally performed by Tina Turner. And it's from the 1995 Bond movie GoldenEye, but we stripped it down to have more of like a Peggy Lee's Fever kind of sonic texture. So and it's very jazzy. It still has that like sort of intimate element to it, but there are those like subtle show-stoppy numbers which pledge allegiance to the original, and also stay the course with that whole Vegas classic show-stopping element. So it still has those elements, but just very subtly. So it's not like ostentatious jazz hands right in your face. Yeah.
So, looking back, you were reaching a lot of success in the EDM world.
Right.
Was this a scary moment for you to make this change?
No, not at all. I felt like I was starting to grow out of it. Because when you're trying to promote yourself as a dance, EDM, upbeat artist, what you're doing is you're performing at a lot of like festivals, clubs, and venues where most of the audience is disconnected, from, substances or from whatever the case may be, from their phones, because I mean, social media can become, a mind wiper too. So, and also performing at clubs at like 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, people don't even know what their names are. So how can they remember mine?
Right.
And I just felt like it was, I mean, it's good for a certain person to do that. That's okay with that. That's okay with that kind of like bare minimum kind of connection. But for me, was classically trained, that has legs in theater, that has legs in the old American Songbook and jazz standards and all that. Like I feel like I'm very cultured. So for me and my old soul, I felt like I needed to do something to gratify that instead, and go back to my roots, because I started in classical jazz and theater, and
Full circle.
and I wanted to go back to that, because now I feel showing capability is the new cool. It really truly is. I mean, you look at even artists like Gaga. I mean, she did the whole club thing. She was like, I'm gonna wear this obscure mask and like shake my booty, and now I'm performing with Tony Bennett and doing duets with Bradley Cooper, and she's showcasing a vocal quality that is pretty advanced, and also with singers like Adele. Well, Adele was never really that like, oh, let me put on a 2-piece bikini and like shake it around. Like she was always very classy. But another one that I can think of right now is Nicole Scherzinger, who started off in Pussycat Dolls, and now she's got a Tony. Now she's totally reintroduced herself as this serious, like take me serious kind of performer. So, and I'd like to be one of those pioneers as well, because I don't think that there are that many of them. So it puts me in that like pioneer category.
And you talking about having to be vulnerable and all that. I think it's more important in this day and time, because like we were talking before the show started with AI and all that, you almost have to be more authentic than you ever have to even get any type of attention.
I know. Yeah. Cause it's so unique nowadays, cause everything is so engineered and manufactured. I mean, I even heard this crazy theory the other day, and I even told my producer about it when I was working with him, and even he wasn't like, I would not put it past anybody, but I heard this crazy theory that, even maybe like Sabrina Carpenter is just like a person, regurgitating an AI voice. Like this could very well be what's happening, but it's happening right underneath our noses. But even with that, like the question of whether this is real or not, it's very common nowadays. So, and I think that sort of question is going to lead for people to want more of that human connection and human emotion. I mean, even for me with performing at these clubs where it was just like way too synthesized with all the lights, that like it was just all engineered and manufactured. Even now I'm like, okay, just put me on stage with one spotlight, one microphone, one piano, and that's it. And let me just fill everything up with my own capabilities.
Exactly.
So.
And I think in the next 2, 3, 4 years, wherever AI takes us and technology takes us, I really believe that the people that can prove that they are themselves, that they are human, they are authentic, they'll be the ones that actually stand out, and it'll become an asset instead of almost a liability.
Yes, and it definitely needs to be an asset, because it's just, and like I always say, I have the saying, like, in a world of cookie cutters, be the cookie dough.
Love
So, and when I mean dough, I mean like, so, but yeah, I just think it's gonna take it in a new direction that harkens back to the good old days. And I can't really believe I'm saying that. I can't believe I'm saying that. Hold on, like, let me stretch my face. Do I need Botox? I don't think I do, but
Well, probably back in like Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash days, where you just grab a guitar and you just sing.
Yes. And also, especially when I did the my latest original single, "I'm Nice Till I'm Not," and I was bringing back all those like flapper, Gatsby, 1920s elements. I wanted to treat that as sort of like the segue of going into the more classics and doing the more the Bond route and that and American Songbook and standard route.
Yeah.
But even with doing that, I just it felt so good to do that, because I was like, I feel like that's what my soul wanted. That's like, despite my body being born in, this time, my soul, this is what my soul wants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talking about being born, you were born tone deaf. Tell us about that.
Yes. I couldn't carry a tune at all. There's actually footage of me. It's funny. I think it was about a year ago when I was home for the holidays and we were watching old films, and there was one where I was 3 years old and it was my birthday, and I was singing happy birthday to myself, and I was just like on one plane. It was like, and you're like one note. And I didn't, like, I knew that I wanted to do this, but this needed a lot of cleaning, a lot of polishing, a lot of refurbishing, maybe like training. So when I was about 8 years old, the musical director at the local theater here in Boca, he was a professional German opera singer, and my parents signed me up for vocal, like private coaching with him. And he was and since he was so like regimented and all that, he laid such a great foundation for me to build upon. So, and that classical training is the foundation for all types of singing. Like that's what people don't really know. So, and that's why I feel like with the amount of singing that I have done, whether it be operatic or even if I'm like belting, or even if because I've done gigs where it's like 4 hours of just like straight singing, and I'm so fortunate, and I praise and I thank that training so that it could protect my voice, because I know some people that don't really have that training, and they're like belting and belting and belting, then all of a sudden they end up with polyps, or they end up with cysts, or they just don't have the greatest of health vocally. And it's because that training is so important and is so imperative.
So did people ever tell you back then when you were younger that music would probably not be an option because of being tone deaf?
They didn't tell me that it wouldn't be an option, because they knew I had everything else going on. So it's almost like it's almost like just changing. It's like you've got a nice car in your garage, but you have to fill it up with gas in order to drive it. Right. So they put the gas in the Bugatti, and then here I come, So that's how it went.
A lot of people, they see you and they see the glory in what you do, but they don't see the grind, the sacrifice, the tears, the struggles that it takes to get to any level within entertainment. And I think most people kind of avoid this, but we don't. We always want to go there, because I think people need to hear what goes on behind the scenes. So take a few moments and just tell us the side that people don't see.
Well, there was someone a friend of mine, she posted this the other day, but it said, if you feel behind, it's not because you're behind, it's because you didn't have it handed to you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so true. That is so true. Because I grew up with people that were naturally gifted, and but even though that they were naturally gifted at this, then this and this and this was lacking. So they either took it for granted, or they're in positions where they're morally compromised, or their health is compromised, or even the decisions that they're making are compromised. So I'm glad that I developed this and this and this, even before or even alongside developing this, because when you have, like I said, when you have it handed to you, it's almost like you don't turn over those leaves that can create that tree for you. But when you don't have it handed to you, that's when you have to grow your leaves so you can be rooted, so you can experience those seasons and those different changes and embrace them. So like, skillfully, and also by experience, in like graciously. So
Yeah. Love that. People also see you, but they don't see the team around you. In our opinion, teams never get any love. But in our show, teams get as much love as we want. So take a few moments and tell us about the team that helps you be who you are.
Well, right now, the team that I have is actually on the smaller scale, which I like. It's almost without getting too controversial, it's like you want to keep the government small, so that you can follow the breadcrumbs of who you're assigning things to, so things don't get lost. It's just my publicist right now. My mom has always been a super blessing in my life, and she's a great part of my development. Also, my vocal coach, who is now taking on the role of being stage manager in this Bond show production. Also my acting coach, who not only teaches me to act, but also helps me reflect on certain parts of myself through the characters that we're working on. And also, and my graphics guy, who helps with my graphics, because that's really important. As we were saying, we're talking about AI and CGI. Sometimes he makes these little AI characters of me, and I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I'm like, for example, he made a flyer for me when I was performing at Capo's in Vegas, where we actually shot the Nice Lum Not video. And he created me like this little AI like flapper girl, and I felt like we should do a video game of me like trying to like escape the mob or something like that. Like that would be so cool. But he's also been great. And then that's all that's on my team right now. And I enjoy it like that, because I've had teams before where it's like you get like this big social media firm, and then I also do my own social media, and because that's the only way to keep it authentic. But then and then I would have like groups of consultants, and then they would bring in these people, and then they would bring in these people, and I wasn't happy in that. I just felt like, and then they're telling me what to do, and they're telling me like me to do this. And then the social media people would be posting photos of me saying like with captions that are just so trite and frivolous. And I'm like, I'm deeper than this, people. So, I just feel better when my team is smaller, and it's been so great so far. And I've just been using more of my discernment when I'm working with people, and just allowing for the projects and for, for God to really see it through.
Yeah.
And those are the people that I thank as well. Oh, and also the producers that I work with as well. I give them so much thanks. Like even Myra McKinley, who produced the License to Thrill album, my other producer, Damon Sharp, Luigi Gonzalez. They've all been so orchestral, as I should say. Yeah.
Speaking of teams, we have a third co-host, our 13-year-old.
Yeah.
So while Sandy gets him, what's next? What's 2026 look like for you outside of what we've already talked about?
Mm-hmm. Well, in 2026, the album License to Thrill comes out February 13th with the debut showcase on the 15th. And that's going to be in Las Vegas. Also, I have more music coming out. I have two upbeat tracks that I have coming out that are still upbeat, because I don't want to forego the upbeat and the dance progress that I've made. I don't want to strip that from my being. But I have two new tracks that are very upbeat, but they're still on that Bond theme, which is really cool. And also I have more shows coming up, so just stay tuned. And 2026 is going to be a double great year.
So it's kind of tough to balance who you were with who you're becoming, because you still want to pull some, because you're not changing who you are, but but to keep it where this is your new authentic you.
Yeah, it's just adding another layer. Or it's strengthening the foundational layer of who I am. But it's not really so much of a challenge, because like I said, I'm converging the two, and that's really easy to do when you're giving a musical direction to whomever you're working with.
Love that.
All right. Hey, Kendra. So
hi, how are you?
Doing good. So what's your favorite food?
What?
Well, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food? Oh gosh. It's between okay, you're gonna have a chuckle at this, but what I've been doing a lot of is like making charcuterie boards. And those are really good, because they're light, they're not too filling, but you still feel satisfied, and you get the salty, you get the sweet, you get the savory, and you also get like your intake of dairy, your intake of protein, and your intake of fruit. So but I've been doing a lot of that. And also I gotta say sushi is another one of my faves.
Because what's yours?
Mine's pizza.
Manja. Yeah, that's it. That's another good one. I had friends, we have friends over the other night, and they were talking about going back to Italy, and I said I have to get back there, because the last time I was there was like right before the pandemic, and I feel like I need to get back to Italy. And they were saying like we could eat pasta there, and I'm like, yes. Why? Because there's no pesticides on it. It's unadulterated, and you can eat pasta and not feel like RFK Jr. is gonna like jump down your throat.
Cool. All right, I have another question. So, what's the coolest experience you've had on your journey so far?
What's the most important experience I've had?
The coolest.
Oh, the coolest experience.
Mhm.
The coolest experience I've had so far. I think the coolest is the coolest experience so far for me is, well, I will say when Self-Control went to #1 on the Billboard dance charts, that was a very cool experience. But I'm that type of person that like I just don't want to stop from there. I want to keep going and going. So I think now just the experience of building the License to Thrill album and the License to Thrill show, that's been the coolest experience so far. So it wasn't just like one where I'm just standing there and something just like happens to me, or like I'm just or I'm just going to somewhere and I'm like, oh my God, I see like this super famous person and we connect. No, like I just think in terms of an experience that is over the course of a period of time and that keeps going.
Love that. So with everything that you're doing, if you could co-write with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be, and what would you want to write about?
Oh, I have to consider both the alive realm and the dead realm.
Let's have one of each.
Oh, oh my God. I feel like I'm in the movie Beetlejuice where I'm having to deal with like the dead and the alive. I'm like, hi, Winona. And then I'm like, hi. Let's see. Well, I would have always loved to have done a duet with Frank Sinatra.
Wow.
That's in that realm. And then in the alive realm, I would say it's funny, today I was thinking it would be great to do a duet with Adele, but also with Andrea Bocelli.
Great choices.
Yeah.
So with everything that's happening right now, where do you personally want to be 5 years from now?
Well, both having a residency in Vegas and also taking the License to Thrill show on the road and expanding it. So like I said, not also creating possibly another album to expand the show. But yeah, just anything that I'm doing right now, just an elevated version of it.
So what do you want your show to become?
Awesome. Yeah, something that is very memorable for sure.
So with all this going on, where do you see, let's say that you become a success on a grand scale, whatever that looks like for you, you feel like you've made it, and that's whether it's 10 years, 20 years down the road. What do you hope you never forget along that journey?
Well, like I said before, that wasn't handed to me. And that everything that I did, I killed on my own. So, and also just to leave a legacy.
Love that.
Yeah,
So,
no pressure. I just started getting like now when I get off this interview, I'm gonna like run all the way to Japan.
so if people were to ask you, who is Kendra?
Some people ask who I am.
If they were to ask you, who is Kendra, what would your answer be?
What would my answer be? Even though she's super controversial, I think what Anna Delvey said, she was just like, just Google me. Just Google me. Or I think now that we're in the world of technology, I think just, holding up a QR code and having people scan that, and then they'll just see a video of my life.
Or just AI me.
Yeah, AI me.
I wonder if that's going to be a term down there. Or like you said, everybody always says Google me. I wonder if they're going to say, well, just AI me.
Just AI me. I think my definition of AI is actual intelligence.
I love that. So as we close out here, what advice would you give that person that wants to do what you do?
Stay the course. Don't be afraid to take risks. Don't operate out of fear. And also, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
That's great advice. We always love having you on the show, and you're always welcome to come back anytime.
I would absolutely love that. Thank you so much. It's been great to be on here again.
You have a great day.
You too.
Okay, the recording is